Let's be real for a second. We are all swimming, sometimes drowning, in a massive sea of information. So today, we're not just going to learn how to tread water. Nope. We're going to build the ultimate navigator's toolkit so you can master these chaotic waters. Let's dive in.
Does this look familiar? I mean, you type one thing into a search engine, and bam, you're hit with this tidal wave of results, articles, videos, opinions. It is so easy to feel totally lost, right? Just unsure what's legit and what's just noise. Well, you know what? That feeling ends today.
We are going to build your own personal navigator's toolkit. These are real, practical tools for charting a course through any topic you can think of, so you can find what you need and, maybe more importantly, actually trust what you find.
Okay, first things first. Every good navigator needs a map. So, the very first tool in our kit is learning how to read the information map. And it all starts with understanding the two fundamental types of knowledge: what's recorded and what's, well, living.
It's a really simple distinction, but it's super powerful. So, on one side, you've got your recorded knowledge. Think of it like a treasure chest full of books, articles, databases, all that stuff. It's written down, it's stored. And on the other side, you have living knowledge. This is the stuff you get from talking to actual people, in interviews or even just conversations. Both are incredibly valuable, but you got to know which one you're dealing with.
So let's zoom in on that recorded knowledge side of the map. See, information doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It actually has a life cycle, a journey. And understanding this journey is the absolute key to figuring out what any source is really for. We can actually map this journey out in 3 really clear steps. It all kicks off with a raw discovery. That's your primary source. Then someone comes along and does an analysis. That's the secondary source. And finally, you've got a guidebook that helps you find the first 2, and that's the tertiary source.
So a primary source is basically ground zero. It's the raw stuff, the original discovery. We're talking about the actual research paper, a diary entry from the 1800s, the raw data from a lab experiment. Nobody's interpreted it or messed with it yet. It's the pure, unadulterated evidence.
Then you have secondary sources. These are one step removed. They're the analyzers. They take that raw data or that old diary and they explain what it all means. Your textbook from high school that summarized a historical event? That's a secondary source. A YouTube video that breaks down a scientific study? Yep, also a secondary source. It's all about adding context.
And finally, we have tertiary sources. Now, think of these as the maps to the treasure. They don't have the treasure inside them, but they point you right to it. An encyclopedia, a bibliography, a simple directory. Their whole job is to guide you to the primary and secondary sources you're hunting for.
Okay, so we get the journey of an idea. But sometimes you don't need the whole backstory, right? You just need a quick fact right now. For that, we need a different set of tools from our kit, the reference sources. These are built for pure speed and precision.
And just look at all these. Need to know what a word means? Boom, grab a dictionary. A quick overview of a topic? Encyclopedia. How about last year's top news stories? That's in a yearbook. Each of these tools has one very specific job, and they're all designed to get you the fact you need fast. All right, now for what is arguably the most important tool in your entire kit. You've got your map, you've got your tools, but how do you know if you're actually heading in the right direction? You need a compass, a way to evaluate the trustworthiness of any source you come across.
And this compass is built around a simple little acronym AAOCC. Okay, so maybe it's not the catchiest name in the world, I'll give you that, but the 5 ideas it stands for are what really matter: authority, accuracy, objectivity, currency, and coverage. Let's break them down.
This is where we take that vague feeling of trust and turn it into a solid checklist. For authority, you're not just asking, who made this? You're asking, why should I listen to them? Are they an expert? For accuracy, it's about asking, can I actually prove this somewhere else? Where are their sources? Objectivity is huge. Are they trying to inform you, or are they trying to sell you something? And with currency and coverage, you're just asking, is this information still relevant, and am I actually getting the whole story? This, right here, is your credibility filter.
And hey, here's a quick little pro tip on accuracy. It's not a guarantee, but pay attention to the little things. Good grammar, proper spelling, it signals a level of care and professionalism that often goes hand in hand with being factually reliable. It's a small clue, but it's a good one.
And speaking of currency, especially when you're looking at websites, I want you to remember this number: 3. There are often 3 different dates you need to watch out for. 1, when the information itself was researched. 2, when the article was actually published, and 3, when the web page was last updated. The newest date isn't always the most important one. Just keep that number 3 in your head.
And that's pretty much it. You've got your map to understand the whole landscape of knowledge, you have your toolkit of primary, secondary, and reference sources, and most powerfully, you have your AAOCC compass to evaluate anything and everything you find. You're not lost at sea anymore. You are the navigator.
So here's your first mission. I want you to take the last article you read or the next video you watch, and I want you to run it through this toolkit. Put it to the test. You're ready. Go out there and navigate with confidence. Thanks for joining me.